Hey, it's Heath Mullikin, and I wanted to share with you about my recent social media fast and some of the benefits that I got from it. Uh, as most of you know, if you know me, I am completely addicted to technology. I'm addicted to social media. I'm constantly, on my iPhone. Um, I've a long time had BlackBerry thumb, from years ago, and this is something I've really been trying to battle. And I guess things came to a head probably in the last couple of weeks. I remember one morning I was sitting there and I was on Hootsuite, which is the app I use to post to Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn. And I'm just sitting there, and I probably sat there for like 20 minutes just trying to come up with something to say. Trying to come up with something clever, something profound, something that would make a difference, and almost trying to come up with something that, unfortunately, may have kind of been a silent dig at somebody. And I just remember sitting there thinking, like, what am I doing? Like, what in the world? And it was just, fairly depressing kind of thing. I found myself in, when I would be at different events or different things, not really soaking in what was happening because I was trying to post about it. I was trying to share it online and through social media. So I decided that my family and I got invited out of town for Memorial Day weekend. We were going to be gone from Thursday afternoon to Monday night, and just decided I was going to go completely cold turkey, no social media during that entire time. We were going to be staying with family, so my children were going to have their cousins to play with. So there wasn't going to be a whole lot of responsibilities as far as watching the kids, and so I knew I would have a good chunk of quality time to really do some investment in myself. But I wanted that entire weekend, no matter what we were doing, I wanted to be fully present. So as soon as the kids got out of school Thursday, I deleted all the social media apps off of my iPhone. And another thing that was great is where we were staying with our relatives, they live out in the woods, and so the cell phone reception is really, really terrible. I did not take my iPad. I did not take my computer, my laptop. I didn't take any of that with me. Typically I overpack books when I go on trips. I'll take way too many books and not get through any of them. But for this trip, I packed 3. And one of those was the Bible. So we get on this trip, and it was amazing. Like, it was absolutely amazing. I didn't know how I would feel. I didn't know if I would have major withdrawals. I didn't know. I'm just real bad about just constantly checking my phone because, news from Twitter. I get all of my news. I have Twitter lists and my political news and my sports news and denominational news. I get all of that from Twitter. I don't do a lot of web surfing anymore for stuff like that. I find it all on Twitter, and so I'm constantly, there's just this inner need to know everything. And so I'm trying to adopt this phrase. I think I heard it from author Tim Ferriss, just called selective ignorance, that you don't have enough brain power to know everything, and you have to choose what's the most important thing to know in your life, and the things you're just going to have to say, you know what, I'm going to be completely ignorant of that, and I'm not going to know anything about that. But as we get on this trip, it was just great. We got there, and I literally set my cell phone on the other side of the room and had some time to read, and actually, read a good chunk of the Bible, but also just want to share with you 2 books I read. One was A Tale of Three Kings by Gene Edwards, and the other one was Making It All Work by a guy named David Allen. He's also the author of Getting Things Done, kind of the modern day father of productivity and just, the leading expert on that. What happened, though, is that when I removed that noise from my life, and I'm not saying those are bad things, but it was amazing to me when I separated myself from that, the clarity that I got. That, when I literally, here I am out in the woods and kind of cut myself off from the technical world. I was able to hear God's voice. I was able to read these books in a way that was deeply impacting on my life. Probably took more notes and wrote in these books more so than I have in a long time because I was fully engaged. I was fully engaged with what I was reading. And what was awesome is here, there are probably not two books that could be more different. But as a pastor and as a father and as a husband, as I think about discipleship and I think about making disciples that make disciples, what more appropriate books to read than one that deals with being a man after God's own heart and the difference between David and Saul and Absalom. And just how that book it's one of the most fun books I've ever read as far as the style of it. It's just, I read it in one sitting, took a lot of notes. It just had a huge impact on me. And then to take that desire of what does it mean? Man, I want to be a man after God's own heart. What does that mean? To couple that with being productive, of being a leader in your home, of helping your family set goals, to plan out your week, to have everything on the table, to know, when you've got to be where, and just to be productive and to know that if I take the full weight of that responsibility, that with God's help, I don't have to live a life where people are going to have to keep reminding me of things I have to do. That I can live a life that takes the initiative in my house, whether it's the dishes or the laundry or cleaning or homework, no matter what it is. If I stop being passive, if I'm a man after God's own heart and I take that initiative to get things done in a productive way, where nobody's kind of sitting around, oh man, we got so much we got to do. That little by little, we can clear our minds and be free of distraction, be free of clutter, and really be free of the nagging that goes on in so many homes, because so many times as a man, I've been passive. And this entire weekend brought such clarity to me. There were so many spiritual things that were going on, and it was very strange in the midst of that clarity, literally feeling the spiritual struggle between good and evil as I'm trying to put myself in a place to hear God's voice like never before. The enemy came at me with a full court press, just really going after my heart and mind. And in the midst of that, still being able to see and hear from God. It was really neat. Through some family ties, we got to go to the Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte Memorial Day weekend. that Sunday. And it was strange to me, you know, I wanted to talk about that on Twitter. I wanted to tell people. I mean, I was about to burst because I was so excited. Man, here I am, going to get to go to my first NASCAR race. I'm going to get to go in the pits and going to get to experience that, and wanted just to tell the world and post it on Twitter and Facebook and just say, hey, man, that's what. And just knowing that I couldn't do that. And I almost, you know, gave myself exemptions like, hey, this is a special occasion. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I wanted to be fully engaged, and it was awesome. Now, I will admit that while we're at the race, I mean, my phone died because I took so many pictures, but I had to be on my phone because it was so loud. I didn't know what was going on when we were trying to watch the monitors in the suite we were in, but I had to use my phone to kind of keep up with the race. And so the technology wasn't distracting me from what was going on. It was enhancing. But I was fully engaged with this amazing event, more so than a lot of events I've been to recently, because I get so caught up in tweeting about where I'm at and what I'm doing that I don't really experience where I'm at and what I'm doing. And so, you know, I have pretty much decided that at least one day a week that I will not be on social media. It's been different for me since I got back. I mean, we got back Tuesday. We had the technology show, and I knew, you know, that I needed to tweet some stuff and post some stuff about that. But since then, you know, I was watching the Heat Pacers game the other night and was interacting on social media about that game, and that was really cool because you can do that and you can see people that you know and how they're experiencing this game. I'm not actually at the game. I'm watching it on TV. And so I think if I was actually at the game now, I wouldn't be on social media. I'd be at the game. But watching on TV through social media is such a great tool because you almost have your own commentary between you and your friends. And so it's a really cool thing. But when it overwhelms us, I feel like we just become zombies and we don't really see and hear and feel anything. So it was life-changing for me because I realized, you know, we got back and Tuesday, you know, turned on all my social media channels and I had one Twitter mention, and I had gotten on there and I told people I wasn't going to be on there. I'd gotten one Twitter, you know, discussion, one comment, and nothing of importance on Facebook while I was gone. And it just kind of hit me that, you know, when I'm not on social media, God is still in control, that the world still spins, and that everything was fine. And that was, you know, very important for me to realize. Do I still believe in social media as great technology to help people understand and see the gospel and the saving power of Jesus Christ? Absolutely. But it's just a tool. It's not the end goal. Anyway, that's how my social media fast impacted me. It's kind of set me on just this really cool course of doing some new things, doing some cool things that I'm very excited about. Have you ever done a social media fast? I would love to hear from you on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Heath Mullikin. Send me a comment on Twitter at Heath Mullikin. Let me know, what was your experience? If you've got questions about, you know, what I did or how I chose what books to read, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to interact with you on this, and absolutely 100% encourage you to make a social media fast part of your new spiritual disciplines. So thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope you have a great, great day.